Hi my friends and welcome. My name is Lily and I talk about books and like today about manga. In this video we're going to be talking about Demon Slayer Part 2, which is arc 4 to 7 and book 3 to 6 respectively. So with this video we end season 1 of the anime. All the information about the author, Koyoharu Gotok, and the bullet points you'll find in my previous video, so check this one out if you're interested. In this one we jump right to the summary of the story, my impression and the conclusion. The chapters of each part you'll find down below. So let's start, because there's a lot to see. We have new characters and demons coming in and getting involved. Let's briefly summarize what happened so far. Tanjiro Kamado is in search for Muzan Kibutsui, the first demon. This one killed his family and turned his sister Nezuko into a man-eating demon. There's still hope for her since she hasn't yet drunk human blood. So Tanjiro is now trying to find a cure for her. He has passed the Demon Slayer exam and successfully mastered his first missions and fought demons with the help of his sister. He has also briefly encountered Muzan, but he escaped again. Now he's on his way to his next mission, which we will watch together. Like in the previous video, I'll include the anime in this one too. We've already talked about the first 3 arcs and continue with the 4th arc, the Tsutsumi Mansion arc, and that is essentially book 3 and 4, chapter 20 to 27. Yeah, in this arc, Tanjiro meets his first comrade with whom he will carry out his next missions. It's Zenitsu Agatsuma, who together with him passed the Demon Slayer exam. Although he probably became a Demon Slayer rather accidentally, but to that later. Zenitsu has an extraordinary sense of smell and is insanely fearful, but he will surprise us later. The two of them have to fight demons who kidnap people with rare blood types into a house, into the Tsutsumi Mansion. Tsutsumis are small Japanese drums. They hear these frightening sounds coming out of this house, and Zenitsu is trembling and almost going crazy with fear as they enter the building together. So it seems he's not much of a help for Tanjiro, who's still injured from the previous fights. In the house they are separated from each other and trapped, because with every drum beat the room changes, new rooms and doors appear without them having moved. Tanjiro notices different smells, but one is stronger than all the others and sticks to the whole house. It's the smell of the demon with the drums. He uses these drums like a weapon, executing the attacks and changing the direction of the room. It is Kyugai, who once belonged to the 12 demon moons of Muzan. Tanjiro analyzes Kyugai and soon finds out the weaknesses of the opponent. During the fight, another Demon Slayer interferes, one who fights mindlessly and recklessly, even against him. It is Inosuke Hashibira. He wears a boar mask, his clothes are made of deer and bearskin, and he wields 2 sun swords. The drum demon changes room again and Inosuke disappears. Meanwhile, Zenitsu is attacked by a demon and falls asleep. When he awakes again, is completely transformed and makes short work of the demon with his thunder breath. But shortly afterwards, he becomes a scaredy cat again. In one room, Inosuke defeats a giant demon with his beast breath, and again in another room, Tanjiro and the drum demon Kyugai have their final battle. Since Tanjiro is familiar with the drums, he soon figures out the pattern of the drum beats. He uses his special smelling ability and finally defeats him with his 10 forms of water breathing. When he kills Kyugai, Tanjiro confesses to him that his blood demon technique is good and acknowledges his drumming skills, which gives the demon peace. Then Tanjiro takes a blood sample and gives it to Mrs. Tamayo's cat, so that the doctor can examine it and find a cure for Nezuko and all the other demons. When the haunting is over, all 3 demons in the house are defeated and the children freed. Everyone meets outside. Tanjiro realizes that Zenitsu is a true friend as he protects the box with Nezuko from Inosuke, even though he gets beaten up by him in the process, because Zenitsu knows this box is worth more to Tanjiro than his own life. With this, we end volume 3 and come to volume 4. Tanjiro and Inosuke fight with each other. It's hard because Inosuke is very agile. Of course, Tanjiro wins and makes the ranking so wordlessly clear. Inosuke's mask is lifted and underneath appears a beautiful, rather girlish looking boy. They all come to rest in the glistening house where they can strengthen themselves and gather their strength. Nezuko is introduced to the others, and the end of this arc is kept rather funny before continuing with the 5th arc with a difficult mission. It's the Mount Natakumo arc, which includes volume 4 and 5, chapter 28 to 44. Their next mission takes the 3 to Mount Natakumo, where a family of spider demons is wreaking havoc. The spider demon mother is a puppeteer who controls and kills her living puppets with spider threads. Tanjiro and Inosuke defeat her strongest weapon, a giant headless demon with swords for arms together, and Tanjiro, in a good interaction with Inosuke, knocks the puppeteer's head off with a water-breathing technique called Gentle Rain. As he does so, she realizes that she is indeed released from her torment, and before she dies, she warns Tanjiro that one of Muzan's 12 demon moons is in the forest. They are especially strong. Actually, they are the strongest demons. Furthermore, Zenitsu is poisoned by a spider demon, but he manages to transform and finishes off this demon with his thunder breathing technique like no other demon has been finished off before. He can only perform this one technique, but he masters it. Before he is completely poisoned, he is saved by Shinobu, the insect Hashira. Volume 5 basically includes Inosuke's unsuccessful fight against the spider demon father and his rescue by Tomioka. Tomioka belongs to the 9 Hashiras and is the one who sent Tanjiro to Master Urokodaki for his demon slayer training. Elsewhere, Tanjiro fights against Rui, and Rui is the one who belongs to the 12 demon moons, and he is extremely dangerous. He tortures and kills by cutting his victims into pieces with spider threads. Even with his water-breathing technique, Tanjiro's attacks bounce off the spider threads and Nezuko saves him from greater harm. This sacrifice for her brother triggers Rui. He wants to make Nezuko a spider family member and captures her. Although Tanjiro remembers the dance of the fire god, a special attack technique during a near-death experience, and uses it successfully, Rui has already cut off his own head and is putting it back on. Again, Tomioka appears and saves his protege by killing Rui. We then learn how Rui was turned into a demon by Muzan and then ate his entire beloved family. By creating his own spider demon family, he tried to remember his life as a human, and when he dies, he remembers it again and finds peace. Shinobu, the insect Hashira, the only demon slayer who kills with poison, plays with her enemies and kills them from the inside with her poison blade. So it happens with the last spider demon. Then, of course, like every demon slayer, she tries to kill Nezuko, but she is protected by Tomioka, so Tanjiro can escape with her. Yeah, we get to volume 6 and the rehabilitation training arc. By protecting a demon, Tomioka has violated the rules of the Demon Slayers, as has Tanjiro. They are arrested and brought before the court of the 9 Hashiras for their punishment. The Hashiras are the most powerful swordsmen of the Demon Slayer force. Let me introduce them to you. We have Kyojuro Rengoku, the Fire Hashira. We have Tengen Uzui, Sound Hashira. We have Mitsuri Kanroji, she's the Love Hashira. Then we have Kiyomi Himejima, the Rock Hashira. Mujiro Tokito, Mist Hashira. Obanai Iguro, Snake Hashira. Gyu Tomioka, we know him already, Water Hashira. We know also Shinobu Kocho, she's the Insect Hashira. Then we have Sanemi Shinasugawa, he's the Wind Hashira. Tanjiro explains his and Nezuko's story to the Hashira. Then the leader of the corps appears, it's Kagaya Ubuishiki, and he accepts Tanjiro and Nezuko. But the Hashira do not agree. They demand that Tanjiro and Gyu be punished and Nezuko be killed. Whereupon the leader reads a letter from Sakonji Urokodaki. He was a former Hashira and Tanjiro's master. In it, he confirms Nezuko's great spiritual power and her strength over the past 2 years, and that he as well as Gyu would vouch with their lives if Nezuko kills anyone. When the leader reveals that Tanjiro is the only one who had an encounter with Muzan, with the same gesture as Muzan, the Hashira reluctantly give in, partly because they see how steadfastly Nezuko can resist Sanemi's blood. Sanemi tests her. And Shinobu wants to take care of Tanjiro and Nezuko and takes them home with her to her butterfly mansion, where Tanjiro meets Zenitsu and Inosuke again, who also barely made it out of Mount Natagumo's forest. They are all to regenerate and train until they become as good as Shinobe's protege Kanao Tsuyuri. She belongs to the 5 who passed the test with Tanjiro. After Tanjiro, Zenitsu and Inosuke successfully complete their training at the Butterfly Mansion, Kanao is to accompany them on their next mission. To do so, they take the train, the Mugen train. Elsewhere, Muzan, disguised as a woman, punishes the weaker of the 12 moons, killing them all but one, which he sets on Tanjiro. With that, my friends, I finished season 1, book 1 to 6 of Demon Slayer, and would like to get to my impression. In these story arcs, Tanjiro begins to act like a main character and takes responsibility. I like how empathetic he is, for example, how he manages to comfort the children, or how he even has compassion for the demons. He doesn't see them as hideous monsters, but as sad beings with a meaningless existence who were once human. And even when he defeats them, he does it with dignity and shows respect to the dead. I really love how all the characters, even the demons, have their own unique stories. We learn how they became demons, what their goals are, and what drives them. And that makes them very accessible and understandable to me. And we also get to learn more about what the 12 demon moons are all about. In these story arcs, Tanjiro's comrades are also introduced. They soon learn how to work as a team and the group dynamic emerges. His friends are very contrasting characters. Zenitsu is an insanely funny character, almost comical, and his facial expressions are hilarious. And he's always shaking with fear, but when he transforms, he's that fearless fighter with the awesome thunder breathing technique, and we catch a glimpse of his true ability, and how he falls in love with every girl is just so funny. Inosuke, on the other hand, is more of a difficult character because he always wants to compete with everything and everyone, which gets him into a lot of trouble. He is quick-tempered and rushes headlong into any fight. Fearlessness, courage, strength are all that matter to him, and this is in contrast to his soft, rather feminine features and handsome looks. Anyway, I think Gotoge didn't create the characters flawlessly, but she pushes the different facets of the characters to the limit and plays with contrasts. I like the beautiful friendship that develops between Tanjiro and his comrades, and of course I find the whole mysticism around the different breathing techniques and other mysterious elements of the demons and the demon slayers, which probably comes from Japan's folklore stories, extremely successful. And it's nice to see how each demon slayer has his own special ability and fighting technique. We also learn about the demon slayer ranks, such as the rank of the Misunoto, Tanjiro and his friends, and the rank of the Hashira, the 9 pillars, the top fighters of the demon slayers. We experience a lot of flashbacks in the story. For example, Urokodaki's words during a battle, how the water can take on different forms, or how Tanjiro's father gives him advice during a near-death experience, just as Zenitsu remembers his grandfather who gives him support also during a near-death experience. These flashbacks give the story dynamics, give the possibility to explain more comprehensively, and thus drives the plot forward. Even if it sometimes seems a bit hectic, we have a fast pace here, which is further increased by the many dynamic fight scenes. Thus we have a lot of backstories and exciting new story arcs emerge. Yeah, that's to my impression. Let's go to the conclusion. Demon Slayer is super exciting. Kimetsu no Yaiba volumes 3 to 6 bring a lot of new characters along with fast-paced battle scenes and a great bond and friendship that develops between the 3 main characters. Through switching the scenes, we get an up-tempo action story. Yeah, this manga series quickly captivated me, and because each volume ends with a cliffhanger, I immediately had to pick up the next one. I was always excited to see what great new characters would show up, and was really entertained and had an insane amount of fun. Yeah, that's all I can say about Demon Slayer Part 2. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do so, watch out for my next one because I'll be back. Thanks for watching. Bye.